Now to our next story. You know, one poignant lesson you learn about a conflict of interest is the one that teaches you to watch your back when you get into bed with government. What do I mean? The diseases the bread spreads will get to you. Inspector General of Police Muhammadu Adamu has distanced himself from a purported suit seeking to stop judicial panels of inquiry, probing allegations against officers of the now defunct SARS across the country. On a happy note, though, Lagos State Chief Executive Babajide Sanwo-Olu has redeemed his pledge to families of 6 slain policemen in the wake of the End SARS protest. Each family is paid 10 million naira, with scholarship up to tertiary level for the children. That's a happy one.
Yes.
Even though subdued.
It is. To remember the Lagos State Police Commissioner made some demands to the Lagos State governor. And this was one of the demands that the police chief made. He also said the government should foot the bill for the burial of the officers that were lost and help them rebuild their police stations and even help them build the cottage hospital, the police cottage hospital. So, and to every item on that list, Governor Sanwo-Olu made a promise that he would ensure that those things were done. I'm happy that we have seen signs that the governor took his word seriously. Any man of honor should be careful about the pledges he makes to people. Because if you are the type who does not honor your word, in no time word will go around that you are not reliable, you do not have integrity, that you cannot be trusted. So he has shown that he is someone who values his word, who takes his word seriously, and I'm sure that the police will be extremely grateful for this, but there is a lot of work left undone. I was driving through Ojodu, and I saw the Ojodu police station still the way the hoodlums left it. I believe that by now, if we want the police to fully return to work, if we want the police to regain their past, regain their glory, if we want them to feel confident to protect you and I, then we've got to start rebuilding their stations as a matter of urgency. The rebuilding of police stations cannot wait for other rebuilding work that will happen in Lagos. Because of the critical, the importance of the police to us all. Even other security operatives, they need the police. If you observe, in all of those places where you have custom outposts, there's usually a police checkpoint not far away. These days, because the police have recoiled into their shells, largely recoiled into their shells, you will see the other paramilitary organizations, they too are not to be seen because they need the protection, the cover that the police offers. Now, we cannot, they lost their vehicles in those police stations that were set ablaze. More than 17 police stations burnt in Lagos. They lost their vehicles, they lost their computers, they lost their offices where they can sit. So, and in a lot of those places, especially in rural areas, policing has literally collapsed because you then now have to rely on motorized patrols to take care of security in areas where the police have lost their outposts or their police station. So there's an urgent need to move quickly to rebuild police stations in Edimu, Igondo, Layene, Dentin, Aja, Amukoko, Ilasa, Sele Outpost, Ijesha, the disbanded SARS office under Ajegunle, Mushin, Olosan, Ojo, Ajegunle, Ebutero, Ikotun, Ojodu, and other places where police stations were destroyed, especially here in Lagos. It is when we have done that they will feel comfortable. There is somewhere to sit. There is somewhere where people can take their complaints to and expect that the police will respond promptly. The way things are now,
chart a new course.
Yes,
there must be a new police.
Yes, and
decidedly.
And just as the police commissioner in Lagos said, there is a need to replace the decrepit police stations that were burnt with modern edifices that will really make these guys proud. Once we've done that, you will see that even the quality of policing will improve. They will be happy to do the work.
Okay.
For now, there's nowhere for them to sit, nowhere to sit.
All right.
So how can we really experience good policing?
Well, the first leg of the story is having to do with the police legal mind. I'm talking about Oyetola Atoyebi, right?
Yeah.
He filed a suit purportedly on behalf of his boss, challenging the composition of the inquiry and blah, 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 without recourse to the Oga. Because if Oga is distancing himself from the suit, then the conflict of interest comes in.
I think many Nigerians must have been surprised about the decision of the legal advisor to the police to attempt to challenge the setting up of panels of inquiry. I think about 26 states now, have set up the panels. Because there are precedents, by the Supreme Court that has resolved this matter. It's also in the residual list within the jurisdiction of the states to set up panels of inquiry. But what worried me was what worries me? How does that mean there was no communication between the IG and the legal department for such a decision to be such a major decision to be taken? Does that mean the IG was not aware? Or the decision was taken collectively and then they realized they made a mistake? But I suspect that there was no internal consultation, adequate consultation before that decision was taken. So I think what the IG did was swift enough because it responded immediately. Almost immediately.
Yeah.
And I think what he did was able to save the country and the police force from embarrassment. Because the panels, the inquiry have reviewed so many things. Are we now saying that we should just stop? People are making demand for compensation. People are saying that their families were killed. These people have been exposed, so we should just go ahead and say, okay, you should stop it. How would the whole international community
the police itself is not familiar with these things?
So I think they should have seen this inquiry as something as a mirror to enable them to do surgical operation and cosmetic changes, combined to have a new police force. It is something that will help all of us to be able to understand what is happening in this country, what have been hidden from many Nigerians. And at the end, it's not to indict the police, but to help the society to grow in having a better police force. That is the aim of the inquiry. So I'm glad that the IG was able to issue that statement, and I hope that nobody will go ahead again to raise that issue.
Tony, there's a lesson here. At the corporate or individual level, decision making is key, Tony. Frankenberg is saying, look, the man runs the risk of sanctions if found guilty of dereliction of duty. So you think the police will go the whole hog or can go the whole hog?
I think we joke a lot in this country. We joke seriously a lot.
Even dereliction of duty.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting that by now the head of the police legal department should be receiving a query. It's not just the spokesman of the police coming on air to say it never happened to the IG link. There's no way that kind of, the police legal department cannot just make a move of that magnitude without the office of the IG responsible.
Of his own volition.
Yes, so denying it, I don't know, we joke a lot in this country. And that, if there are issues, if there are mistakes, just say, oh, there's a mistake. It's an affront on the presidential directive, setting up that panel. You ought not to have made that move.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a country where people are being sanctioned, it's not enough for the IG to then come out after some hours. I don't know, it never happened. I wasn't aware. When it's over, when it's everywhere, people should be punished for not doing the right thing in this country.
You know,
otherwise, we'll be wasting time. Issues like this will keep propping up every second.
Many times we talk about bad behavior not being punished in our country, my country, your country.
Yes.
So it will continue.
Definitely. Because
No, if they don't punish that guy.
But if sanctions are,
They don't punish
are not
him.
met, it will continue.
People will be free to
Definitely.
believe
That's the
they
way.
knew about it. People will be free.
Because, yeah,
They'll
the
be
act lends itself to
justified.
so many interpretations.
Yes, people will be justified to think, look, this denial, is just an afterthought, that they knew about it. By now, that fellow should be serving suspension. Because what he did was downright irresponsible. The president addressed the nation. He said, go ahead, you governors, go ahead. I'm leaving it to you. Go ahead, set up this inquiry in your states. You know, and where necessary compensation should be paid. And then the policeman will get up and try to
From
stop
nowhere.
that. What level of indiscipline are we talking about here? What is that designed to achieve? Or is this simply because the police is being embarrassed, left, right, and center in those at those panels? If the police is being embarrassed, it's because they committed those offenses. You pushed a man down from a story building. You shot.
In the name of policing.
Yes, you push a man
Nigerian
down.
style.
You use plier to remove somebody's tooth.
Oh, come on.
How wicked can you be? The truth is SARS. SARS as a sub-unit within the police has been a total disaster, has been a disgrace to the force. And anything that we can do to put closure to this, whatever a few governors are saying, the president has made a decision that SARS has to go. A few governors in the north can say what flies even in the face of logic, because you can't continue to deodorize SARS, whereas even in your state, you have failed in your duty of protecting your people, and you are making it look like, oh, SARS is the best thing since sliced bread. Come off it. We've seen SARS in broad daylight kill people, and the president looked at some of those videos and he said he was embarrassed by some of the things that he saw. That was why the president said, you SARS protesters, your protest is legitimate, your agitation is legitimate. It was because he saw some of those things. So if the panels now are yielding all kinds of horrific stories of people being killed in the presence of their parents and all that, is for us to be able to learn from it.
Okay.
The South Africans had their own truth commission.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a much better society now.
We had a little something close to that.
We had an Oputa panel that was not backed by law. You've got to back it by law. You've got to back it by law. If we don't back it by law, some people will choose not to honor his invitation. You've got to back it by law, so that whatever happens there, if they hand down punishment, we know that punishment will happen. If they say, you Citizen Jones, face us, come and face us today, you have to go there. The police have not acquitted themselves well throughout. Many times, the counsel to the police will not be present. There is an attempt to simply frustrate a panel, especially the one in Lagos. But that attempt has to be resisted. It has to be resisted.
Wale, and so in taking this subject matter home, therefore, let's, Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror, If you want to make a change, take a look at yourself in the mirror and make a change. Is this us? Is this us? Or it's a millennium thing? Because we were not like this.
Yeah. Remember, the police initially were using batons. You know, they were not even using AK-47. They were using batons. So I think things started changing gradually because we failed to address those problems, and they are getting worse. We were never like this. Policemen in those days, you know, we use baton. You don't see them carrying sophisticated weapons that are meant for, you know, warfare and all that. So, but I believe I'm not hopeless. I believe we can still regain our lost heritage. I mean, it has, but we have to make a decision that we want things to change. That means we have to do things right.
You have to chase away the bad eggs.
The bad eggs. Like what has been done in Lagos State now, for 6 people, out of which 5 are inspectors. There are 22 policemen that died all over the country. We want to see what other state governors are also doing officially. There are 205 police stations destroyed. So when we have the Lagos State government setting that pace, we expect other governors to also follow that example, so that those policemen will not be seen to have died in vain. There will be a kind of hope for their families. It's not good growing up without your parents, but at least in a way, the money may not be able to replace the lost lives, but at least it gives hope that at least the society appreciates the work that their parents did.
Tony, sometimes you hear a certain public officer who ran foul of the law has been chastised, he's either demoted or forgiven. You know, you must punish bad behavior. That's the point. And we must be seen to punish bad behavior, because it is possible.
Highly possible. Very, very possible. But I don't think it's not part of us. It's not part of us.
It is not us.
It's not, no, it's because I think it's about the system itself. There are things you should do, you should refrain from doing, because you know there are punitive measures ahead if you take such step. But in a situation where there are no punishment, we feel you can circumvent it. You have nothing to fear. People go all out. And that's what's going on. You do things with so much impunity because you know nobody's going to punish
Nothing
you.
will happen.
It happens all the time. While you punish the just, people who shouldn't be punished are being punished. Look at the general that went to, I would say maybe military laws and all that. I was demoted for, I mean, if it was a mistake, but I hope that decision will be reverted by the military authorities at the end of the day. These are issues we are talking about. When you go against the law, let the law take its course. It should not. No, there is no way you can escape it. Let it be strict. Well, until we get there, we'll keep having things like this. This issue, for instance, there's no way the Inspector General of Police, I reiterate, is not aware of that move. And in a climate where there are laws and order,
where people eye service that I was doing or what?
I think it's simple eye service. I would have maybe even if let the presidency say, this is what you get. Somebody has to punish somebody for this. I saw it yesterday, and I know there's a joke somewhere.
We have company from faraway Germany, and Chikwe is here. Chikwe, we greet you. Welcome.
Good evening, James.
Hello, Chikwe. Are you there?
Good evening, Chief. Yeah, I'm here.
Not quite ready for us. If we take this home now, the chance is there to chart a totally new course for life and living and respect for rule of law in our country. It is possible.
Yes.
It is very possible.
Yes, and the police should be the forefront of it. What I want to see is a police that I will be proud of. A police that, when you are talking about police in Nigeria, people are not talking, having at the back of their minds extrajudicial killings because of the abhorrent behavior of the SARS men. We have started sanitizing the police, and we want to see results. All of those SARS guys, they told them to come over. Their urine samples have been taken. I know that a lot of them if their urine samples are tested, you will see evidence of substance abuse, because even in the open,
They do.
some of them smoke Indian hemp and the rest. So let such people not find any way to come back to the police.
Yeah.
Let's have a police that we can be proud of. People with their sanity in place, people that when you see them, you, you won't be scared for your life.
Chief, who went off the line, is back now. We can say good evening to you now. Chikwe, how do you do? Welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Jones. Good evening, Jide. Good evening,
Hello,
William.
Chikwe, are you there?
There's a delay.
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Actually, you see, one thing I love about you guys...
No,
is
but,
that
the volume is low.
It's audio, the audio. We have
in
audio
our country,
wahala here.
We have failed to punish bad behavior.
Yeah.
And that's why things like that keep on happening. Now, I think what the legal officer of the Adam police did, I even think it has a precedent. All of us saw what happened 2 weeks ago, when the Minister of Justice told us that there are 3 suspects who were indicted by the National Human Rights Commission, that he didn't see any reason for him to get up with their prosecution. All of them, not one, not two, not 3, but all 33 operatives indicted, he, as the Minister of Justice, he doesn't see any reason. He has not seen enough reason for him to go on with the prosecution. And I was asking myself, what kind of thing was that? And now this guy has come up with his own. And even as we speak now, even as the IG of police has withdrawn himself for that, have they withdrawn that case? Even as he stands himself from that, have they withdrawn that case?
Okay.
Withdrawn.
Chikwe, thank you. We got it from the first second. Thank you very kindly. Gentlemen, finally we can say this. I think we all remember that a minister in Britain had wahala over a ticket for the girlfriend. He had to resign. And so I'm looking at my country. What are we, a special people, a special breed? How special could we be to the point where law is not respected? So we leave it there. Well, we must also say we were not made for laws. Laws were made for us. Okay, then, to our last story. Before then, we'll take this breather, and Richard, please stay.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work. Now, the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Okay, you couldn't agree less with that. It's a great place and way to work here at TVC. Now to our last story. For the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, the days ahead may be rough indeed. Ahead of a planned December 8th National Executive Committee meeting, NEC, a member of the family, Kalu Agu, has approached the Federal High Court in Abuja, praying it to stop the exercise. Added to this quandary is a halt to the new membership drive of the APC, which, according to the plaintiff, was a ploy designed to deregister members who took the party to court over time. We can tell you that the former interim national chairman of the APC and former governor of Osho State, Chief Bisi Akonde, may have mediated the brouhaha between immediate past governor of the state, Ogbeni Ralph Aregbesola, and Minister of Internal Affairs, and incumbent Adegboyega Oyetola. Politicians, Jide, are like generals. They start wars for the parties to fight. Also, it seems to me.
And Mama Basa said, unfortunately, in all wars, those who die are those who do not deserve to die. So it's the innocent people who get caught up in the crossfire when these politicians go to battle. But I'm particularly happy that the former governor of Osun State and the man who supplanted him, Oyetola, the man who was his chief of staff, have been reconciled, because this is the first time this year that Nigerians are seeing both men together. This year, the relationship was kind of frosty, and yes, a lot of these things may not be in the open, but the leaders, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Baba Konde, who brought them together in the Lao, they were very much aware of the frosty relationship between both men, and they got the message across to them that, look, a frosty relationship between both of you does not augur well. Does not augur well at all. Oyetola needs Aregbesola. You see an Aregbesola,
And the other way around.
yes, no, he has had his time. He's not looking for an elective position. Oyetola will definitely be seeking a second time. So one person needs the other much more than the other person needs him. You know, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not saying he doesn't need him at all, but you see, and the party needs both men. The party won the governorship election narrowly. They can't afford to go into the next contest bickering amongst themselves. Some of these squabbles are not necessary. So, and that's the message that Baba Konde and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu got across to them, that, look, we can't have a situation where both of you are quarreling. Because, look, whether we like it or not, if you've been reading a lot of things happening, you know, in Osun State, you will see, at least from some of the comments of their supporters, you will see that all was not well. There are many people out there who expect that by now they should have been rewarded with political appointments and all that under an Oyetola governorship, who up till now have not been compensated. Such people can't be happy. They can't be happy. And when you have an Aregbesola on your side, on that podium, campaigning for you, the energy that even the crowd will feel is unprecedented. The songs he sings is the sort of person that you want to have on your side. The kind of songs he sings at campaign grounds. Songs that will rile the enemy and energize supporters of his own party. You know, it's Aregbesola who will grab his phone, who will grab his broom and will start singing, oh yeah, Yogbalere, Kafi gba PDP sigbo, lai kan ma se gberi mo, kan le gbapa wa loga won. You know, so I'm saying this because in that state, it is important for both men to work together. I knew that at some point, the leaders of the party will find a way to bring them together. Since around February, things had been very bad between them. Now, at the end of that meeting, we saw Aregbesola and Oyetola leaving Baba Konde's house in the same car. When was the last time that anyone saw both men, even together, not to talk of driving to somewhere in the same car? So it's a good sign. And what is then required is for supporters of both men to also be brought together, so that there can be greater cohesion within the party, you know, as the Oyetola administration rumbles on after 2 years in office. So this is the thing. It's a good move, and I'm sure that for the APC members, a lot of them will be excited that at last they found a way to bring these two gentlemen together.
Tony, but you know, the late Chairman Mao Zedong came up with this quotation. I like to cite it if I have the opportunity. He says, war is politics with bloodshed, politics is war without bloodshed. But in Africa, we are seeing both engagements, war and politics, bringing bloodshed. And so you wonder, where will the bad blood come from? In this case, this was your chief of staff, a clearinghouse for the governor, and so politics is not an exact science. Anything is possible.
It's not exactly anything is possible. It's not an exact science. It's practical. Just like JJ said, you know, these are empirical things we see. Somebody help you into office, you get there. There are certain things they still want to, you know, but once they sit on that chair, they want it. This is what I want it. But definitely, interference will definitely come from outside parties, especially the one that anoints you, that puts you in that chair. So, but it's a matter of learning how to manage such situation so that it does not go out of, you know, you don't blow it out of proportion. It happened in many states. Edo, for instance, that culminated into the former governor, former chairman of the party, you know, kind of lose out completely. And I have Governor Basaki on seat. So I think it's about the understanding of these individuals.
Yeah.
Definitely to come. This is not the first time. And I'm happy that at the end of the day, we're able to, you know, come together and reconcile. That is what politics should be. You disagree. You disagree to agree, because it's for the betterment of the people. It's when you take it to another level, you know, when you go into mayhem, anarchy and all that, that's where you cross the line. Definitely politicians will disagree, but learn the art of. At the end of the day, reconciliation, because you must occasionally come to that level where two of these people will come, you know, meet at, you know, the conflict, you know. So, but I'm happy the party stepped into this matter and were able to resolve it before it snowballed into crisis. Because definitely the election is beginning to. We have 3 years to go, but preparation is in top gear, and that's the way we practice our own politics. For me, that shouldn't be. But we are preparing, because all these conflicts you're seeing here and there are just, you know, prelude to 2023 election.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be.
Wale, but let's go to where we started from. A member of the APC, a chieftain, Kalu Agu, started the. You went to court because he's suspecting a little something is burning under the table. That's also politics.
Well, before
that the court must stop the NEC meeting and the registration and all that
for December 8th. Well, it's not totally isolated from the internal crisis within the APC. Like we have not discussed one in Osun State now. Let me say that I was not in their meeting before I go into your question, but I'm so sure that they had very honest discussion with themselves. You can do a psychoanalysis from the picture that I saw in Punch today. They were not laughing. Even the trademark of Baba Konde, you know, was not of, you know, the smile, the trademark smile was not that expressed. In Yoruba land, they tell you that when people know, you see that there was that they were not to put it on their mask. When two people enter a closed door meeting, two enemies, and they come out laughing, they have not told themselves the bitter truth. I think they were honest with themselves. So, and I think it's part of the things we expect the party to do at different levels. Because going to court, you know, all the time, on issues that you can call yourself to a round table and discuss, you know, as much as possible, we should try to avoid that. Once you go to court, the litigation expands, you know, the division between the parties. But I think the person that have decided to go to court probably did it out of the fact that they were frustrated. I believe he was not acting alone. He was acting for a bloc within the APC. So probably out of frustration that after the removal of the former APC chairman, and they have set up different, you know,
so
reconciliation committees,
alignments and realignments and so on.
They are just, you know, to dilute the people. That genuinely, it appears some people in APC are not ready for reconciliation. Because if you are having a meeting on December 8th, there should be wide consultation with all the stakeholders. no matter the fact that you have the right to go and hold the meeting and all that. But if you don't have wide consultation with people, definitely they will challenge you. And you see, the APC must be very careful in managing itself. You know, the APC is came together 3 blocks: the CPC, the ACN, and then the AMPP. So it will be too bad
a little finger of
the PDP.
And the PDP. So it will be too bad for one block to see itself as the Alpha and Omega. And we started seeing this sign right from the beginning, when they were, even after 2015, choosing of minister positions, there was no wide consultation. The leadership of the Southwest here, I suspect they were isolated. So when you have that kind of situation and you think it's winners take all, you are not going to serve the purpose that the party is meant for. If they are not careful, if they go with that convention will deepen the crisis. It will deepen the crisis if there is no wide consultation. So I believe the person has gone to court must have been, engineered by the lack of satisfaction of the various reconciliation process. So it's not too late for them to call themselves together, learning from what we have seen in Osun State now. That it's not all times that you need to go to court to resolve internal crisis.
I agree with him that there's a need for the party to continue to consult widely before big decisions are taken. There's a need for the party to work harder at reconciling the feuding members of the party. The way the APC is, there are too many disparate groups within the party. And all that they're after is just to hijack the party and ensure that come 2023, they are in the driver's seat. This whole contest is about being in the driver's seat for 2023. And the way it is, when the president and others came together to set up this caretaker committee with the mandate of organizing a convention for the party, the president pleaded that no one should go to court. He also warned that whoever decided to go to court will be dealt with severely. It is because the president knows that the actions that he had taken are not backed by law. The APC constitution is clear. But you see, I also do not blame the president for the steps that he took, because at that point somebody needed to wade in and stop the rot, stop the party from drifting. And he took extraordinary steps, along with others, to dissolve the NWC. Now, what the party needs to do is to ensure that it brings everyone back on side. A lot of them who feel aggrieved about the way the Oshomole-led NWC was disbanded, they've now need to talk to them, because those cases will embarrass the party. If the judges decide these cases by law, strictly by law, there is no way the party won't be embarrassed, because there is no provision of the party constitution that allows somebody to hold on to a state position like the governor of Yobe State now and hold on to a party position as well. Yeah. So he's both a governor in the state and interim chairman of the APC. The APC constitution does not allow that. The constitution is clear that even the manner the president dissolved the NWC is not also permitted by law. But you can do it and get away with it if everyone agrees that, look, it was a step extremely necessary to take at that time. Okay. So what they need to do now is to continue to appeal to a lot of these guys, because they will end up embarrassing the party if they don't get them to agree that, look, those steps were taken in the best interest of the party. Let bygones be bygones. For the party to continue to reign, let us just forget our differences. So that consultation must go on. is the job that the Bune-led ESCOM was controlled, because Hilliard Etta, our man, you know, he went to court last week saying that he should be brought back as acting chairman of the party. And now this case has been filed. He wants an order of the court that these people should not be parading themselves until that particular matter
had been
resolved, and that they should not hold the neck, because the whole idea of the neck is for Bune, Memala Bune and his people to be given an extension of maybe another 6 months.
All right, then, quickly, Alwan Hassan has joined us from Abuja. Alwan, thank you for holding on. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Babajide, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Well done, guys. I hope you have patience to listen to me on this. Babajide just said something about the governor of Yobe State being a caretaker of a party's caretaker committee. Let's look at this morally. Do you think a governor can bounce to be a caretaker of a party at the same time? Can you do governance and politics at the same time? One has to suffer. And in Memala's case, I think the two are supreme. Just recently, he had an interview in BBC and said, there is no month that passes without him going to spend 3 days in Yobe State. 3 days in the state that voted you to be governor. With these security challenges in Yobe State, don't we need to tell ourselves the truth? He wants an extension of 6 months. They want to do registration manually with paper in 2020. You can't deploy technology to have a proper data. You want to do it with paper. Oh, no, come on, Babajide, let's talk this very well. You want an extension of a caretaker that has met just 4 times in 6 months? Their mandate is to go and conduct convention. They don't want, because they want to stay put and extend for 6 months. What have they done in the last 5 months? Let them give us what they have done first before we now give them extension. What are they trying to say?
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Alwan. Tony, you know, let me rub this in. Robert Greene has written a book, especially for those who are interested in grabbing power. He has 48 laws of power. Laws number 1, 3, and 5 cannot be lost on me. Number 1 says, don't outshine the master. Number 3 says, don't show your hand, your movement too soon. And number 5 law says, integrity is everything. Protect it even with your life. That's what is missing here.
I looked regarding the governor of Yobe State, for instance, being the chairman, the interim chairman of the party. I listened to an interview granted recently, just as he said on phone here, where he said he goes to the state, he visits the states at least 4 times in a month. And I'm wondering what 4 times in a month can do for Yobe State, for the people who elected him to be governor of their state for the next 4 years. And then the APC making the interim. Interim means for a short period of time. Now, seeking for an extension again means that I think he's enjoying that position more than being governor, because
and his primary job.
And his primary job is being governor of the state and violating the laws of the party too, because you cannot be a governor of a state and being a chairman. These are 2 heavy duty positions, and it seems to be on one side and leaving the function which brought him to limelight. It should not. And at this point, the stakeholders in the APC has every right. This Kalu, for instance, just as he said, there are some people pulling the string somewhere. But for me, it's a good string. It's a good pull. Something, it has to go back to Yobe. Yobe State today is part of that part of the federation where there is where we have terrorism, where we have issues bottling up, where we have issues that has to do with people being killed every day. These burning issues today, for instance. The governor of the state has, if you ask me, I think has done enough. This is the time for APC to think beyond now. And I follow him all the time, follow the stories that, that comes from his, the office of the chairman of the party interim, for instance. And I think some people are beginning to think that it's time for them to hijack 2023. It's all about 2023 right now. And to me, I think it's a tool being used at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, and why, I don't understand why some people are keeping quiet. I believe people are keeping quiet in the party because it seems to have the power of the president behind him. I remember how the executive of the party, immediately dissolved and his own committee set up. If it's interim, I think it's due for him to leave because it's going to lead to crisis. They are looking at it now and nobody's talking about it. Election, on a good day, we shouldn't be talking about 2023 election. We should be talking about between now. This is just the first year.
Burning issues.
Yeah, we have a lot. People are being killed on a daily basis. We shouldn't be talking about politics right now. We should be talking about governance. It's about party. It's purely a party issue. But then it's a ruling party. Whatever happened in APC affects the generality of Nigerians. So that's why every step they take must be carefully taken so that it does not affect governance. It's surely affecting a lot of things because there's no way something will happen in APC and the rest of the country is not feeling it. Something. Yeah. I think the president.
The president must have gone for him because before he became governor, he was a national secretary of the party.
Yes.
So he's very familiar with the running of the party. Amongst them, he appears to be the person who is very qualified to do that job. I am not opposed to the fact that he's been made acting chairman caretaker chairman of the party, but he should not last too long on that seat. If you are going to be, they are seeking an extension now, who knows? Maybe after another 6 months, they could be asking for another extension.
It's possible.
Nobody knows. So, and the constitution of the party is against it. The longer they stay there, the more people will come out from the same party. People will think, oh, these are not our people, they have the agenda, who will go to court. And if the matter is looked at strictly by the letters of the law, there's no way the party won't be embarrassed, except they can reach out to all of these aggrieved people and they get them to withdraw their cases. That's the best bet for the party.
That was one of the reasons he was reconciled the party. Has he done it so far?
No, he's been going around winning more souls into the party. People like Dogara, they are back in the party. He's gone for the governor of Ebonyi. He's doing well in that area. But as I said to him last week, you've got to even keep the people that you have. There are many people within the party who still feel aggrieved. There are some things that happened before the last election for which real restitution has not happened. There's still so many people bitter about what happened the last time. So reconcile those ones first. Keep the party in harmony first before reaching out to bring in more people. And I want them, the fact that you have...
Talk less about jostling for 2023 now. But sorry, quickly, so I don't keep Peter in Jalingo waiting. Peter, good evening, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, Judge.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, there's from what one of your colleagues said about the governor of Yobe, what he said, he even added something for him because what he said was 3 days in a month. You see, and from that interview, if you watch it, you discover that the governance in Yobe State, as far as that interview, what I saw from that interview, I discovered that there are no governance. The man presented their chairmanship position.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so
So it's got to unite the people. I believe that his biggest task is to unite the party. There are different states that if you go to now, they will tell you that, look, the issues we had, even from 2015, they are still outstanding. Yeah. So true reconciliation has to happen within the party before you begin to bring in people from outside. And as I said to him last week, the fact that you have far more governors than the rival party does not mean that you can win the election. PDP had far more governors than APC in 2015. It didn't stop them from losing the election. So it must unite the party.
So indeed, politics is not an exact science. Wale, you know, when you have trouble in a party like, as we are discussing the ABC, know that that trouble is not something that came of its own volition. Yeah. It's deliberate. Judy talked about, or is it Tony, talked about some drummers somewhere. Or it was, you know, there are drummers somewhere. And so they are aggrieved. But if 2023 is the catch, then what magic are they going to wrought here? We are talking about the APC, ruling party, blah, 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 not putting its house in order.
It's a very unfortunate thing because increasingly we are seeing a situation where people are more interested in building individuals than building the party.
That's
and
my
I think a party will be better placed if it is strong as a platform, not necessarily having very strong individuals. By going about to woo governors of other states and all that, good. But then there is also the suspicion that they are trying to get more people so as to be able to railroad, to control the convention. I think for the APC to be stronger, it would have been better to have a consensus candidates in the coming convention. But if you insist on saying that, look, our group must have all the positions,
must produce this,
the likelihood of having an internal implosion cannot be ruled out. And this will only be to the advantage of the opposition. So it's one thing to be successful. The another thing is how to manage that success. The party is just about 6 years in power now. So, and if you really want, you know, to sustain the party, you must know that you have to do things in the interest of the majority of party members. And people have made sacrifices. There is no way you can just throw them into the trash bin.
Okay, not at this time.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we must pack it all in here. Producer is saying the index finger of the producer is up, so we must say thank you to Baba Jide Kolade Ochitoju. Thank you, Jide.
Thank you.
And of
Thank
course,
you.
Adewale Adeoye, many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Gentleman Tony Waje.
Thank you so much.
I greet you too.
Thank you so much.
So that's it on the show this evening and the week. If you missed any part of this show, we are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones on behalf of the Backroom Boys here saying many thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.